There are moments in time caught in the eerie silence of a farmhouse, the hum of a subway, or the innocence of a childhood game, where the fabric of our world seems to warp, bending into shapes we cannot fathom. What lurks in these shadows, these brief, unsettling breaches where time and space conspire to confuse and bewilder? It's as if the very essence of our existence whispers secrets, only to snatch them back into the ether, leaving us with nothing but the chilling echo of something other. We'll see you on the inside.
We'd probably do better if we had a blonde on our podcast.
No, you know what? We'd actually do fantastic if we got the word out. Like, I'm convinced that the entertainment value of the shows that we produce alone would do really well if word got out to the weird folks of the world.
That's true, because I watch a lot of things, and ours is much better than a lot of the things.
That's true. And ironically, we're the low end of the totem pole.
Got to start somewhere.
I guess that's true. This fucking thing, I made this red earlier because I had to sleep with the lights on, and it's not red anymore. Welcome back to Sleep with the Lights On, folks. We have some very interesting, glitchy stories for you, as we mentioned in the previous episode that we didn't record 20 minutes ago. We recorded it last month, as you saw that it came out last month. More on that later. I'm not sure if you've ever experienced a glitch in the Matrix yourself, but if you have, I sure would like to hear it.
Have you?
Probably. I'm sure I've witnessed like crazy things like that I just, in the moment, I was like, well, that was really weird, and then just like moved right on with my day.
I'm trying to think if there's something like that I've experienced before, but I can't think of it either.
Outside of the last story from the last episode. That was a glitch because we had to hear it twice. You guys remember? You were there. Some of you were. You might not have been, but that's fine.
You were there with us spiritually because we do it for you.
In our mind's eye, we feel you. That didn't really pull together as well as I was hoping it would, but it's fine. This first story, folks, if, again, I'm going to briefly say subscribe to the channel, follow us on social media at Freaky Deaky Pod, wherever you're at, and listen to the podcast, The Freaky Deaky, every single Thursday, wherever you get your podcasts. It's a gem. It's a hidden gem, as they like to say in the mean streets of crypto Twitter.
What the hell is a podcatcher?
It's things that stream podcasts. I don't know why they're called podcatchers, but it's really just like a music player at this point, because everywhere that has music has podcasts.
True.
But we're not here to explain life's really dull things to you. We're here to share some very interesting stories about glitch in the Matrix events. And this first one was unlike anything I've ever heard in my life. And I think you're especially going to like it because it's kind of a, well, you'll see. We'll get into it. Let's dive right into this bad boy, shall we? Splash. It's called Stone Tape Glitch. And it's by Derek Olson.
Why was the ape stoned?
Oh, you were probably nearby at some point, I imagine.
Bad joke.
Yes. Anyway, this was an experience a friend of mine had in England in regards to what could possibly be called a dimensional bleed-through or glitch in the Matrix. Several years ago, my friend John was visiting a small farmhouse somewhere in the south of England, and as he was walking across the yard towards the house, he heard the sound of horses galloping up behind him. And airplanes flying through the clouds. Just kidding, that's on our end. Apologies. When he turned around, he saw several men dressed in armor wielding swords. Some of them dismounted and ran into the barn, stabbing their swords into the hay, and others were checking the house out as if they were looking for someone. The leader of the group was hollering, "Where is he? He's got to be here." A short while later,
I don't think that was his accent.
Well, I wasn't actually there. How about this one? "Where is he? He's got to be here." Is that better?
No, I still don't. It's England.
Well, I'm not going to do English because that always turns into Australian, which always turns into New Zealander. All right? Got some work to do on that one. It's fine.
Yes, you do.
Oh, like you're any better.
That's true.
That is very true, I know. After returning to the city, he told his friend of his experience. The friend asked if he could accompany John on his next visit to the farm. They went the following weekend, and neither one of them was disappointed as the very same scenario occurred again in the same order. Only this time, when the leader called out, "Where is he?" John, the silly bugger, said, "I'm here." Much to his surprise, the leader came over and thrust his sword in John's belly. John said he was mystified because he actually felt the sword going into his belly and then being withdrawn. The soldiers left after that. John's friend's jaw was almost hanging to his knees after witnessing the event. I told John he should have said, "He's over here," and then pointed to his friend. Wouldn't that have given him something to talk about later? Several weeks later, John researched the history of the area and found out that there were soldiers burning villages in that area. John's conclusion to the incident was that he and his friend had both walked into a different dimension or time period and actually became part of it. I'd say it was a bleed through into a possible past incarnation. The thing that's puzzling is that his friend also witnessed the strange happening. So that's bizarre. I've heard a lot of like stone tape stories but I've never heard of someone being interacted with in the moment. Like maybe like eye contact or something like that, or what you feel is eye contact, but never being fully stabbed by a random knight in the wild, you know?
That is an interesting angle to come out.
That's a doozy.
I don't know what to say about that one. I wish he had mentioned the time period when these soldiers were actually burning the area or attacking these people. Was it like religious persecution? How far back does it go? Is it just
could have just been some assholes with swords and horses, you know?
The Jacobite revolt? I couldn't think for a second.
The Jacobite revolt. That happens as well, yeah.
Fascinating that he felt the sword go in him, but that could just be a psychological thing.
Or indigestion at that exact moment in time. We never know.
Well, having, I guess, a spiritual, whatever you want to call this, image or recording in time.
Fever dream.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. That's just such a weird one. And the fact that he's like, "I'm right here," and the guy comes over.
He's like, okay.
Yeah. Walks over. He's like, "Oh, there you are there," and stabs him. And then
weird flex. And then like just the tangibility of feeling it go into your stomach, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like, no thanks. And then being withdrawn, he's like, oh. It was fake. It was all fake. It's fine.
What if he's marked for life?
We can only hope. John, wherever you're at, are you marked for life? Yeah, whatever. That's when I read that, I'm like, wow, that is so wild. If it happened and wasn't just made up by some clown, you know?
It kind of reminds me of the story. I think it was the two English ladies. They might have been in France.
They walked into the
pet. Like,
it's one of my favorite, like, walking into history moments.
Right. For those of you guys that don't know, they were at this large estate, and all of a sudden they seemed to travel back in time.
Fancy party.
Yeah. And we're at the estate. People from what? A couple hundred years ago, I think is what it was.
Yeah, maybe even more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty, like, they thought it was like this whole play that was being put on by the place. Like, oh, wow, this is actually pretty fancy.
Yeah.
And it turns out none of that was happening. Classic. I wish I could experience something like that, but
me too, actually.
The past is kind of, there's some interesting moments that I probably wouldn't want to be around for. So, and knowing my luck, I'd walk right into one of those and be like, no. Go back.
Yeah.
This next tale, if I may, it's called Subway Glitch. Not very creative with this month's episode.
Was Jared there?
I knew someone would mention Jared. I wasn't sure if it was going to be you or some of these clowns, but I knew someone.
Too soon?
Someone. Not soon enough, actually. We should have been making Jared jokes the whole time. That little pervert. That's fine.
He used to be a big pervert, and then he started eating at Subway and became a little pervert.
Isn't that something?
You know.
And I'm sure everyone does. So anyway. Says, it was night. I should mention this is an anonymous submission. It was night, and I was heading home from university. My usual commute involved taking 2 subway lines before meeting up with my mom to go home together. I boarded the second subway, sat down, and checked my phone. It was 8:30 p.m. I put on some music and started listening. Then, in what felt like an instant, I looked outside and realized I was already at my stop. Normally, this part of the trip takes 49 minutes, but my phone still said it was 8:33 p.m. I was completely stunned. I got off the subway, stepped outside, and saw my mom waiting for me. Her first words were, "Oh my gosh, you're already here?" The subway must have been going fast. But the thing is, the subway didn't even move the way it should have. I have no idea what happened that night, and it still scares me to think about it. Weird. I get like you could be tired and just kind of like pass out and then wake up immediately and be like, oh, I'm here,
Right.
We've all been overtired, guilty, But the correlation with the mom being like, wow, that thing must have really been moving if you're here already. And the fact that it was 8:33 when he looked at his phone. That means in 3 minutes time, he lost.
49 minutes.
Yeah, he lost about 46 minutes.
And also, actually, he just missed it because he jumped ahead that quick when he shouldn't have, because you can't magically appear at one end of the subway line.
Unless you can. Unless that subway is going through a portal. Maybe a portal opened up.
Would you think, do you think there's a group of individuals on another realm that when we end up on going through a portal like that on a subway, they have to go back through and readjust everybody's memories and electronics that tell time? Like, oh shit, we got to erase this from them and just let it be a mystery.
I'm not sure if reality is much like the Marvel universe, but I feel like I don't know the complexities of like the entities beyond or whatever, but I do think that these things are possible.
Because we hear a lot of stories. I mean, maybe it's because of the genre we're in, but we hear a lot of stories like this. But also, if it's happening this often, there's got to be something out there covering up, like drones over New Jersey.
Wow, Christian, we haven't heard that in hopefully 6 months or so. But
hopefully we have an answer by the time this episode comes out.
Well, if not, if we had an answer 5 months ago, and then 5 months from then you're saying, hopefully we have an answer, people are going to think that you're losing it a little bit.
Or
that's fine. Or maybe they've taken over. Maybe they took over completely. We don't know. How far in the future are we, folks? Is this a glitch in the Matrix? Christian and I don't have the answers. All that and more at 9:45 p.m. My mind, it doesn't do well with glitch in the Matrix stories, I'll tell you that. There's a part of me that's just like constant, like, what was it? What happened? Tell me. I need to know.
But you're not cleared for that.
Well, nobody is, except for the government.
They're probably doing it.
Yeah, you perverts, you're over there doing it. The government.
If they're doing
disgusting.
Yeah, they've probably found a way to take our money.
Well, they do that every single year via the magic of taxes.
Is that magic?
It's magic how quickly I can lose money that I thought I was making.
It's called black magic in this case.
It's called taxing the same dollar 50 times over.
Impressive, huh? Impressive how they can do that.
Wasn't there something that we did in the past to get past all this taxation bullshit?
No.
Are we coming back for you, government? Are we on our way?
That was without representation. Different.
And now we have representation that is also stealing our money. Yep. Isn't that fun? Hey, maybe we need taxation without representation. Without representation, we can get a new clown in there that's going to help us out for 10 years before they too become corrupt. It's the circle of life. No, it's fine.
I don't think they have to stay 10 years to be corrupt.
Takes about 10 minutes.
Yeah, you're like, sign this, you're corrupt now.
Yeah.
But you're going to be rich.
How much money did I just make? Oh, cool. Yeah, this is awesome. Never mind. Fuck the people.
Yep.
Fuck the people.
And some of them do that too.
They do as well. Yeah, it's pretty grisly out there.
Sometimes they're like, not just the people, the kids. It is politics.
That is politics, I guess. Weird phrasing from Christian on that one, but it's fine. We all know about the rooms and the underground, whatever's going on over there, I think. Who knows? Who knows, honestly? Before we get ourselves in even more trouble via the government, let's get into this next and final story of today's episode called Hide and Never Seek, and it's by Kai Dennis. It says, when my little brother and I were toddlers, we lived in a very small house. We'd play hide and seek. Since our house was tiny, it took about half a minute to find anyone, no matter where you hid. My brother had this habit of abandoning the game and reading a picture book or something. I asked my brother to play hide and seek. He said yes. My mom told him not to abandon the game, and we started. I hid next to my parents' bed. I usually never went in there, but I was feeling bold. What do you find in your parents' room? Uh-oh.
Don't open that drawer.
Please, for the love of God. My innocence. I waited for a good 5 minutes. My little kid self was getting pretty antsy. Just then, my mom came in. She was obviously confused. Apparently, I had been all the way across the house just seconds before, drawing something that I thought I had drawn a few hours prior. Both my mom and my brother had no recollection of the hide-and-seek game, and I'm still very much confused many years later. Wow.
Mom and brother gaslighting the other one. No, we never played that game.
Yeah. What is hide-and-seek? We've never heard of it. This reminds me of one that it didn't make the episode, but there was this one person that said they were going downstairs to get, I think to go to the bathroom or go get a drink of water or something in the middle of the night. And as they were going down, they saw themselves sitting on the couch, like with one knee up, like holding one knee with the other one, kind of like doing whatever, and reading or something like that, and wearing the exact same clothes they were in. And they said they stopped at the top of the stairs and like blinked, opened their eyes, they were still there, blinked and like counted down from 10 and opened them and they were gone. And they're like, needless to say, I didn't go to the bathroom that day or that night. And I thought about that. I'm like, how the hell does that happen?
It's called bilocation.
Bilocation. Well, never mind. I guess Christian figured it out. Isn't that nice? See you later. No, I don't know, man. There's too many weird things. I've been looking into a lot of really weird things lately, mainly for the videos we've been putting up, and the world's pretty crazy. I got to say.
I agree.
Got to say, some pretty interesting stuff out there that we'll really never know the answers to, and that's fine. Just means that this podcast will live on for many moons of confusion. Isn't that fun?
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Christian, what was your favorite story from today's episode? Oops, a daisy.
I got to go with the English countryside. And
that's probably the wildest one.
Yeah, the soldiers stabbing hay, which sounds like something you'd see in a movie.
I know, right? Like you can visualize them getting off the horse, stabbing the hay, and then walking.
But also it makes sense that back in the day, people might have tried to hide in hay because you could still breathe.
See, I didn't even picture it like that. I was picturing it as someone, they get off their horse and they, instead of like sheathing their weapon, they just stab it into the hay and walk into the barn.
Yeah, this is how we clean off our swords.
Not even that, just like it needs a place to stay. And I don't want to put it on the ground. You know? That's literally what I visualize them getting off the horse, stabbing the hay, and walking into the barn looking for people.
That's not how it works, man.
First of all, we have no idea how it works because it was so long ago. But
I feel like we do.
Hay, do you understand how like dense hay is? Who's hiding in hay?
People back in the day. You've seen it before, I'm sure.
Have I seen it before? I have not ever seen anyone. I would love to hear one instance.
Not personally, but I've seen renditions of it in film.
Sure. You would have to literally build like a makeshift hut where the inside, there's bales of hay all around and it's built into like a cube, and then you're inside where there's a missing bale of hay or something.
I'm not sure there was bales of hay then. They just would put it in a cart and take it to wherever it needed to go.
Okay, so you're just saying people are around in loose hay and they're just being stabbed.
Yeah.
Willy-nilly. I guess. I don't know. Where do you guys stand on the hay bit? Huh? Did you picture them stabbing the hay to hold their swords for a few minutes and go inside and look for people?
I mean, that's a different definition of needle in a haystack.
It's a very easy to find needle in a haystack, it turns out. Probably the easiest needle to honestly track down at that. But we're not here for that.
But either way, that was my favorite story.
It was a good story. It was an interesting story. And I don't think we've ever covered anything like that in all these years, even after all this time. What about you guys, huh? You sound off in the comments below your favorite story from this month's episode. And be sure to, again, subscribe because we got all kinds of fun stuff that are dropping constantly. We're always working on new things. All right? We do too much. We do too much. And if you're into doing too much, this is the place for you. And remember to find us on social media at Freaky Deaky Pod. Wherever you are at, we are at that as well. In the meantime, you be sure to sleep with the lights on because you never know what is lurking in the shadows.
A banshee.
Banshee.
Be scared.
Look at that, merch for a podcast about ghosts and crap. It's pretty neat. Hey, what a treat. Support the show and rock some swag. If kids are still saying stuff like that, we love you, what a weird song. Buy a t-shirt with TFD thong. Just kidding about that last part, but it's funny all the same. I think the song's over. I'm going insane.